everyone, Wayne from the CERN Earth and Space Center here. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the nighttime skies that we can see for the month of October. We'll be looking on October 15th at 9:30 at night, so right in the middle of the month, which will give us a good idea of what we can see throughout October. And we'll also be taking a look at several different groups of stars that you can see in the autumn that combine to make one very interesting story in our skies. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. So here we are on the campus of Triton College in River Grove, right in front of the CERN Earth and Space Center. I'm going to bring on the cardinal points so we know what direction we're facing. We'll see that the CERN Earth and Space Center is directly to the west, and we'll look up and around and see some bright stars. If we look almost straight up, we could still see our summer triangle up here in the sky from the September video. But there's some other cool stuff that I want to point out. If we turn towards the southwest, we'll see Jupiter and Saturn are still going to be visible in the sky, although they are getting closer to the western horizon, which means they are going to be getting a little bit harder to see in the sky as the year goes on. And then as we turn around, face towards the south, we'll see some bright stars up there. But what I really want to point out is over here towards the east, southeast, high up in the sky, there's a nice bright reddish object, and that is the planet Mars. We can see here it is in the constellation of Pisces, the fish. And those don't have very many bright stars in them, so they're kind of hard to see, but Mars will really jump out at you, really be visible. And then if we keep turning around, I'm going to get rid of our few labels that we have here. There we go. Now if we keep turning around, face towards the east and the northeast, we'll see a good selection of bright stars for us to find. And this is the part of the sky that I want to focus on for our October skies video today. There are a group of several different constellations, different shapes in the sky in this area that all make up one story. Many of the pictures in the sky that we can see, I'll bring them all up here. There we go. We can see all of these pictures. They all come from ancient Greek and Roman myths. And several of these pictures in this area of the sky come from the same Greek myth. So let's go over that today. There we go. We're going to start with this one right here. It's a bright zigzag shape. Its name is Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a very bright, recognizable group of stars. Doesn't look like much, kind of like an M or a W up there in the sky, but it's supposed to be a beautiful queen. There she is, sitting on her throne, looking in her mirror. She sits right next to her husband in the sky. Here he is. His name is King Cepheus. So you have King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia in the sky right next to one another. They were rulers of an ancient Greek kingdom known as Ethiopia. And their problem was that Cassiopeia was very beautiful, but she knew that she was very beautiful, and she liked to boast about how beautiful she was. And she made the mistake of saying she was even more beautiful than some of the gods themselves. Well, those Greek gods heard that, and they weren't too pleased about that, so they decided to punish her for being so vain. To do that, they sent a sea monster to come and destroy their countryside. Now, that sea monster is up in the sky as well. It's just a little bit below Mars. There it is. It doesn't have very many bright stars, so it's kind of hard to see, but that is Cetus, the sea monster. And he is coming to destroy the country of Ethiopia. Let me zoom out a little bit here so we can fit everybody in the screen. They heard that this sea monster was coming to eat their countryside, and they didn't know what to do about it. So they went to the oracle, a seer of visions, who could tell them what was the best course of action that they should take. And the oracle told them that they needed to make a sacrifice, something very dear to them, to appease this sea monster. Since they're such fantastic parents, they decided to sacrifice their one and only daughter, the Princess Andromeda. And we can see her right here. You can see she's chained to a rock. She's waiting for the sea monster to come and eat her. Well, luckily for her, there was a hero in the area. His name is Perseus. He sits right underneath Cassiopeia and Andromeda. And he was on the back of Pegasus, the flying horse, who is also up here in the sky. Now, Perseus had just come from slaying Medusa, the Gorgon with snakes for hair, who was so hideous that she turned people into stone just by looking at them. And as he was flying back from that, he saw Andromeda chained to the rock, and he swooped down and asked what was going on. She explained the whole situation and asked that he please just leave well enough alone. She was willing to die for her country. Well, he decided that that was no good, and he was going to save her. And to do that, he hid behind a rock and waited for the sea monster to show up. But once it did, and right before it was about to eat Andromeda, he jumped out, pulled out Medusa's head. The monster saw it, got so scared that it turned into stone. Perseus smashed it into bits, and him and Andromeda lived happily ever after. Now, if that story sounds a little bit familiar to you, you might recognize it as the same plot as the movie Clash of the Titans. That movie is based on this same Greek myth, but you don't need to go to the video rental place or Netflix or anything like that. You can just look up in the autumn skies towards the northeast, and you'll see all of the major characters right there in the sky. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that look at the story of Perseus and Andromeda. Like I said, many of the stories that we see here in the Northern Hemisphere come from ancient Greek and Roman myths. But the nice thing about the nighttime sky is that you can make up your own stories. You don't need any special tools, just your eyes and a nice dark sky. So go out there, connect the dots of the stars, make some pictures, and make up your own fun stories. I hope you all enjoyed our video. Remember to like and subscribe to keep getting our weekly updates. Again, my name is Wayne from the CERN Earth and Space Center, and remember to get out there and take a look at the real night sky.